Hi there. When a complicated situation becomes even more complicated, life can get complicated sometimes. It seems like you cannot catch a break. Even when you appear to catch a break, it is short-lived and quickly overtaken by even more complicated new challenges. Paul was arrested in Jerusalem by the Jews and handed over to the Romans. They examined him and decided to release him because he was not guilty of any crime deserving death. The Jews objected, so Paul was compelled to make an appeal to Caesar in Rome, Italy. Paul warned the crew that their voyage would be dangerous, but the crew did not listen. Men, I can see that our voyage is going to be disastrous and bring great loss to the ship and cargo and to our lives as well. As if the injustice at the hands of the Jews in Jerusalem was not enough, Paul suffered a shipwreck on the Adriatic Sea. A wind of hurricane force called the northeaster swept down from the island. The ship was caught by the storm and could not head into the wind. They gave way to it and were driven along. They took such a violent battering from the storm that the next day the crew threw cargo overboard to lighten the ship. Paul told the crew to take courage and that God would keep his promise, and after 14 days without food, Paul broke bread and gave thanks to God. He assured everyone that not one of you will lose a single hair from his head. Paul also testified that thrice he suffered shipwreck, a night and a day adrift in the deep. Altogether, there were 276 people on board. The ship ran aground on a sandbank. The soldiers decided to keep the prisoners to prevent any of them from swimming away and escaping. But the centurion wanted to spare Paul's life and kept them from carrying out their plan. The captain of the ship, Julius, ordered everyone who could swim to jump aboard first and get to land. The rest were to get there on planks and on other pieces of the ship. Everyone safely reached the shore on the island of Malta. Paul's experiences remind us that even what is already complicated can get more complicated. Fulfilling our destinies often comes with a cost. The islanders welcomed them and built a fire because it was raining and cold. Paul gathered a pile of bushwood, and as he put it on the fire, as if the shipwreck was not enough, a viper, driven out by the heat, fastened itself on his hand. Paul shook the snake off into the fire and suffered no ill effects. The viper represents danger and evil, similar to the serpent of Genesis chapter 3. The heat driving out the viper can symbolize how the light of Christ exposes and expels darkness. Apostle Paul wrote, "We are hard pressed on every side, but not crushed, perplexed, but not in despair, persecuted, but not abandoned, struck down, but not destroyed." Be blessed.